And I don't see any attendees.
Uh-oh.
Worth a shot.
Give it a few minutes and then I can text some people.
I think Marguerite said she was away maybe too, I think.
Yes.
That's the only decline that I got, that Christina got.
Yes.
Micus is now.
Here we go.
Awesome. That's a great picture.
Let's see if I can unmute. All right. Where's my video? All right, here we go. Hey guys. Ooh.
Hi, Sarah.
I look like I have an alien above my head.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Dave.
Good, how are you?
Good, how's everybody doing?
Good.
All good.
We do have quorum, but I know we're missing at least one person who thought they could attend, so maybe we just give another 30 seconds or so.
Sure. Oh.
Oh, it's Marguerite.
Hey, wait. She was supposed to be on the road.
Yeah,
Maybe
you weren't
she
supposed to be here, Miss Marguerite. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Marguerite.
The plans have changed, so we're leaving tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Great.
Oh, we're so happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right, I guess we can go ahead. Oh, there we go. There's Beth.
Hi, Beth.
Happy holidays.
Hi, everybody. I was there, but I don't know what happened. I was here for 5 minutes.
All right, why don't we go ahead and get started. So I call this meeting of the Southborough Youth Commission to order on December 14th, 2021 at 7:04 p.m. So first on the agenda is the review of the November 9th minutes. I caught a couple of things. If I refer back to my own notes, I think that Marguerite was not at the last meeting. Is that right? So,
Right.
And also Leslie Haddon, I don't believe was in attendance for that meeting.
All right. So, no Marguerite.
So Marguerite's name needs to be taken off voting to approve the minutes as well. Oh, where'd I go? Oh, yeah, okay.
Right, so Marguerite and then Leslie Haddon is listed under others.
Okay.
But wasn't at this meeting. I think she was at the previous meeting.
Okay.
Those otherwise, and then so then under administrative, BAI1, Marguerite was listed under voting.
Yeah, I'll strike her from all the votes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do I have a motion for the minutes?
I'll move to accept the minutes as amended.
Second.
Okay, Susan, whoops, I don't think Susan's on yet. Sue Butka? Oh,
Aye.
okay. Beth Dombucker?
Hi.
David Joyner?
I was not at the meeting, so I abstain.
All right. Marguerite Landry.
You need to unmute Marguerite.
Sorry, my little red thing wasn't turned on. I abstain. Although I don't think I have to technically, but I will.
All right. Sarah Micas
Hey,
and Lauren Ritchie, aye. So the motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have the director's report with highlights and updates from Sarah.
Happy December, everybody. And happy
Too.
anything, whatever, merry whatever you celebrate.
Warm winter wishes.
Winter
like
wishes
that.
to
I
you
like
all.
that.
Yes. Okay, so highlights from November. I really, Shannon was referencing this earlier, so I was sharing that one of my children attends karate, and the karate master, whenever someone does something that's an accomplishment, we give 2 claps for whoever that is. And so I feel compelled to give 2 claps for Shannon. He's been working really hard and has been, I would say one of the highlights for November has been the ongoing advertisement of QPR suicide prevention trainings and the success of providing trainings. She had one just this past Saturday morning, which I want to give her kudos for her willingness to come in on a Saturday to provide such an important training to residents. She's also been doing them on Wednesday nights and has another one tomorrow night. And what's really exciting is that because so many people have been inquiring about the trainings, she went ahead and mapped out what she could offer for trainings all the way through March, and every training filled up.
Wow.
Yeah. Whether or not everybody comes is another story, because I think there's a lot of interest, but things come up, and when it gets to be Saturday morning and you're actually having to go to the thing you signed up for, that's another question entirely. But the training she had this weekend, you had 7, am I saying that correctly? 7 participants come, which was fantastic. And though she had a smaller group for the first one that she did, there was actually a really nice level of intimacy with that group. So, finding that even if it's not a full room of people, that's totally been fine too. Even if we train just one person, every little bit counts. But there's been a lot of talk about it online through the Southborough Share and Care page. And a lot of residents have been promoting it, which has been really helpful. So I would like to give 2 claps for Shannon. Just 2.
I might have done 3. That's great news. That's great news.
Yes. The other thing that she's been working really hard on, and we want to thank Leslie Haddon for coming in to participate in what Shannon calls the first pancake of another training that's sort of been developed in response to the QPR training. And that's centered around how to improve your listening skills in relationships. Listening is, as I'm sure you can imagine, a really critical part of suicide prevention, being able to approach somebody, but then being able to listen in such a way that you're encouraging them to keep talking. It's not only a skill that's helpful for PPR, but really for everyday relationships and relationship challenges. And then on the other side of that is not just listening, but also how to communicate what your needs are and get your own needs met with while still preserving the relationship. which is not always an easy thing to do. So, so Shannon's been working on developing that training as well, with the plan of rolling that out in December. So I'm sorry to say, I think as I'm talking, I think I'm giving you some highlights from December also, but this has really been something she's been working on for both November and December, and before that too, frankly. Shannon, I see you unmuted. I didn't know if you had something you want to add.
Those trainings will start in January.
Yes.
You had said December, so it's actually January.
Oh, thank you. My apologies. So that training is called, well, we're still playing around with the format, but it was originally called Listen with Love. Love is an acronym for some of the skills that are being taught in the training. And we're given the feedback and conversation we had during the first pancake that Shannon did with a few of us and with Leslie. We may be breaking that up into 2 parts. So one part being about listening and the other part being about communicating your own needs in the relationship. And so listen with love, and then we may have say it with love as the second half of that. So doing a lot with prevention programs these last couple of months. Where is my document here so that I can highlight other things? Let's see, we've been working on working with Northborough, the members of our coalition, our Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition, to try to leverage funds in Northborough. I think I've highlighted in previous meetings that we've very gratefully received $7,000 from the Southborough Community Fund to go towards some work with a substance abuse prevention consultant. Being that our coalition is between both communities, we're looking for the other half of those funds so that we can do the whole project that we hope to work on with her. And so we've been working with them and being in close contact with them this past month, trying to make that happen. Let's see, continuing to do outreach. There's a number of things that you can see there that we've been trying to do. We gave out outreach bags at the Gobble Wobble pin pickup. Shannon's been also trying to form some focus groups on a regular basis. We've continued our online newsletter. My cat really wants to be in this meeting today.
I know mine's here. Mine is here too. Drive me nuts.
And what else can I say? That's kind of been it. I continue to plug away at the strategic plan. I'm still very focused on goal number 1. We've hit some delays / roadblocks in terms of identifying a HIPAA compliant platform to act as a centralized database for the department. So we're working very effectively with our electronic health records system through therapy notes, which is fantastic. However, not everybody that comes to see us, we don't form a case file for every person that comes through our department. So we need an additional way of keeping track of people and identifying who did what when, and a way for all of us to log in and access contact information more easily. So we're continuing to work on that. And I think that's it for now. Shannon, is there anything else that you want to highlight from? I don't know if there's any questions about the director's report.
Okay, if there's no other questions. Sarah, can you stay on for a budget update?
Sure. Also included in your meeting packet is a budget update, but there's really not many changes to it. The only thing that's different from what you all saw last time. So I presented to you the budget request, which you all voted on, and I did submit that to the town finance team. Since then, we have learned that for all SAP employees, it's a 3% pay increase for that budget versus 2.8. So the only change is that the salaries have been increased by 3% and not 2.8. So that's it.
What does SAP stand for?
Salary Administration Plan. So that's any employee that is governed by the Salary Administration Plan and falls under the Personnel Board. I don't know if I'm accurately describing that, but that applies to all four of us.
Any other questions on budget?
I don't think so.
Right. See, we have some comments on a friend's report that I believe Leslie had given to Christina. Sue, do you?
Yes, we had a meeting on 11/16, and we attended an event at the community house where different vendors were selling some of their products, and kind of reached out to some of them to see if they would be interested in our Shopping with a Purpose event, which has been scheduled for Friday, April 29th. And Leslie had one of the vendors to her house on December 3rd. And Arbani, I believe the name of the company is, or the product. But there were only 6 of us there. And I know it's a crazy time of year too, so we're in discussions with talking about doing something in January with a bigger group of people that attend the party and more vendors. And we're going to meet with Rotary again in January to discuss future fundraisers. But right now it is booked for Friday, April 29th for that Shopping with a Purpose event for camperships. And I think that's about all. If anybody has any questions.
What's the day for Shopping with a Purpose again?
April 29th.
I'm sorry, do you know, is that an evening or is that, I assume so, as it's a Friday?
Yeah, it's an evening. I actually don't know exactly what time.
Okay.
But we spoke with a lot of the people that were at this one, and there was a lot of interest. So, and kind of explain what we were looking for as far as a fundraiser. So, and this event that Leslie had at her house, and there were 6 of us. There are a lot of people, I think, that would love to help us out. So we'll see.
Is there a point in doing it during a whole day, like all day Saturday, as opposed to Friday evening? I'm just thinking that I think I went to the event you were talking about a couple of weeks ago, and it was during the daytime.
It was.
It was pretty well attended. Do you think doing it during a daytime might get better attendance than in the evening?
I think it maybe would. I wonder, I don't know why we didn't go for a Saturday. We were trying to do this so that people could shop, not necessarily for Mother's Day, because we're not going to call it that, but I really don't know, to be honest with you, if maybe that Saturday was completely booked up before. We wanted to do it before Mother's Day.
Right.
I can check into that. This is like
it was just a thought, because it seems like there'll be things like people are home for the evening and da-da-da-da-da-da. So it seems like the whole day might, but maybe there's a reason to not do it. It was just a thought.
Okay. No, thank you. I can talk to Leslie about that too. I think the ones that we've done in the past, though, you're right. That one that I went to during the day was very well attended. So I will get back to you on that. She talked to B and she booked it, but that doesn't mean it has to be that way.
All right, any other comments, questions, suggestions? Thanks, Sue.
Oh, you're welcome.
And then Sarah, we just had a couple of other pieces of business about performance evaluation changes and the computer for the intern.
So this is an update, but not a complete update. So we had heard a couple of months ago that the personnel board was getting out of the business of doing performance evaluations, which is understandable as it's been challenging for a board who doesn't know every employee to have informed opinions about how performance evaluations have been completed. You know, it's from an outside perspective, you know, if they sort of can only evaluate how the department head conducted the performance evaluation, and even then it's hard for them to have an informed opinion. So it's been a challenging thing for them to navigate and figure out for a long time. So they've made a decision to no longer be involved, but rather require that department heads conduct performance evaluations, but not mandate how it's done. And we're waiting for more clarification on what else that means. So it may not be how it's done, when it's done, you know, it has to be within a year. They may have conditions on what needs to be included in a performance evaluation. I think my impression is that they're not even sort of mandating which evaluation form we use moving forward. It just so happens that one of my own personal goals or professional goals within the department was to create supplemental performance evaluations for staff anyway that were more reflective of their specific job description. We all, even within our own department, we serve different roles and have different skill sets that we need to do our jobs. And so I had already been working on performance evaluation for staff closely related to their performance evaluation. So I'm continuing to work on that. And that may actually end up being what we use instead completely. I'm not really sure at this point. So I just wanted to share that with you all, as I know that you've been involved in at least with my performance evaluation. So I'm not entirely sure what it's going to look like, but I'm sure we will hear more as time goes on. Yeah, so I'm just reading an email from our Board of Selectmen liaison, Chelsea Malinowski, that she was saying to me that the personnel board will be undergoing their current process for the last year is this year. After that, department heads will be required to sign off as having done a performance review of each employee, but personnel will not dictate nor review the reviews. So a few more questions to better understand, but just wanted to give you guys that information.
That sounds like you could spend 1,000 hours trying to get a personnel form that was appropriate, and it would not be a very good use of your precious time. Is there any way to see what other youth and family services groups use, and just maybe see if you find one that's somewhat appropriate? Because having been involved with these for 10 years, they can eat your life up. And it's sort of, do we cast the personnel evaluation to match the employee we currently have? Then what happens if that employee goes? Do you still use the same? You know, it's horrible. And I think the bottom line is how to make it so that you can tell whether you can say this person deserves a raise because their numbers are high enough, and B, what can I tell this employee that will help them to do an even better, you know, in all areas of their job. But it just maybe, like, what is Westboro doing? What is Northborough doing? What is Framingham doing? What is Marlborough doing? Just look at 15 of them and see if you can just find one that will sort of work well. That's my only suggestion.
I actually have already collected some information from other youth and family service departments. I would like it to be more specific to our department, because conversely, on the other end of the spectrum, what we've been using for a long time is a one size fits all, which understandably it had to be a one size fits all performance evaluation that could be used for our department, the recreation department, the assessor's office. I mean, it's just, you know, almost too general. It's too far on the other end of the spectrum. So I am, and I'm also consulting with our clinical consultant who works in a lot of other environments, because she, you know, especially for clinical work, there's a very specific skill sets that need to be fine-tuned, and, you know, it's very job specific. And I'd love the performance evaluations to feel meaningful for staff. They deserve that. So somewhere in between. I totally appreciate what you're saying, Marguerite. It could totally consume a person. The same thing with job descriptions. Those are really hard too. So I will keep you guys posted, because without as much oversight from the personnel board, I hope that I can turn to this board to ask for, I don't know, you know, whether it would be a vote to approve the performance evaluations, or some sort of backup to say, yes, we approve the use of these performance evaluations, so that it kind of legitimizes our process that much more, since it's not being dictated from another board. Does that make sense? I don't know if I just made sense, but
no, I think that's fabulous. And the other part of it is some departments will number them on a curve, saying 3, which is satisfactory, is what you want to do for most people, and other departments will say, well, it's a 5 because we really like this person and they did a lot of good work. So it's also the numbering system.
Well, yeah, I came from the survey world, and you never want 1 through 5 because everybody picks 3. Everything gets bucketed in 3. So usually you do 1 through 4 or some even number. I think you could all be very helpful from our past job experiences, or what we're currently doing, helping guide you, Sarah, to develop a useful tool for this, because you're right, it can either be too generic or too specific, and either of those might not be helpful. I do believe a performance evaluation, as Marguerite said, should help guide the person to do a better job, or set goals for them that they can help the department. And I think, although, you know, a lot of information is helpful, less is more in a lot of ways, just to be very specific. And I wouldn't get into pages and pages of an evaluation. I think also sitting down with the person and talking to them is much more valuable than sitting and looking at a piece of paper. So
yeah, I will definitely bring to the table some additional thoughts, because this has been a challenging thing for us to participate in within the department. I mean, I meet with each staff member every week for an hour. So we're very connected with what's happening, and, you know, I'm getting feedback, they're getting feedback. We're all very communicative. One of the challenges I expressed to the personnel board when we were having discussions about this is that, what is the standard of excellence? How do you be a perfect clinician, for example? What does that even look like? What is the standard, you know, that we're using? It's very hard to figure out. And also, one of the other challenges, if you're evaluating someone on their performance for interpersonal skills, for example, which was one of the categories, or communication skills or teamwork, that's not, if you're a team player this year, you're probably going to be a team player next year. You were probably a team player last year also. You know, there's a lot of things that I really want to avoid evaluating people on, because it's part of, you know, it's not likely to change. So that's what I mean when I say I want it to be more meaningful. So I do appreciate your feedback. I'll try to bring some different samples, and I'll let you know which ones I'm leaning towards and why, but I'm certainly very happy to get feedback.
Sarah, when are they due? When are they due again? You don't know?
No, I mean, I think as Chelsea's email said, my understanding is that we're still going to be doing the current process through the end of this fiscal year. It's after that we'll probably receive guidance on what happens next for the subsequent year. So I don't think we need to worry about it quite yet, but
even the current one is due like in the beginning of July or something, right?
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll probably need to do it in what did we do it last year, Sue? It was like
I we had to do.
We were working on it.
Yeah, we ended up doing 2 or something, right? I don't. Yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of glad it's going to change a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Can I move on to the next item, Lauren? Is that okay?
Sure. Yes, please.
Okay. The other thing highlighted there is a computer for interns. So historically in the department, we have had either 1 or 2 graduate level interns. For many years, we've had 2. And it wasn't until, so we actually had 2 when the pandemic started. And then we decided to go to 1 for a couple of years because of the pandemic, but also because we onboarded Christina in the admin assistant role, and having a brand new employee and 2 interns in the middle of a pandemic while trying to figure out how we're delivering services was a little bit too much for me to take on. So we currently have 1, but we would like to return to do 2 because of the volume of need that we're seeing. So we would like to return to 2, and we've got 2 folks lined up for next year in the fall. So computers, historically we have, excuse me one second, I'm gonna shush my dog. I hope he's not whining. Historically, we have had interns bring their own computers from home and use those during their internship. But under our new IT director's leadership, he has different opinions about security than our former IT director did, and would prefer that we not do that because he can't extend his security to an intern's personal computer. So he would like us to have our interns be using town issued computers, which is great. Problem is that we don't have enough computers available for that. So he has given us the use of one computer that he had that was available for Dawn, who's our current intern, to work with. And that's all set. It meets all the requirements. However, to have 2 interns next year, we need to identify a second computer. I thought about whether we could have 2 people sharing one computer, but I think that would be really difficult. Yeah. So he doesn't have it in his budget to be able to purchase another one. It just so happens that we have a laptop at the office. If you guys remember, we had Ellen Miller, who was a tax work-off senior who was working with us for a while, and Friends at the time, which was under Beth, our friend Beth Donbacher, who we weren't able to get a town computer for Ellen, but we really needed a computer for her if she was going to actually help us. So Friends at the time purchased the laptop for Ellen to use, and we still have that laptop in our possession, which isn't being used right now because we have Christina as an employee now, and we haven't needed a senior tax work-off person. So I need to approach Friends of the Southborough. Well, first of all, I had Jay take a look at the computer to see if it would fit, if it would meet the criteria that he needs it to in order for it to be used by someone that's working for the town. And so there's 2 options on the table. It unfortunately does not meet all of the criteria, but it meets most. So it needs Windows 10 Pro, whatever that means. We have Windows 10. So it would need an upgraded license, which would be somewhere around $200, he's estimating. Alternatively, and so just if we were to use that computer, it would be a $200 expense, but we also need to approach Friends of the Southborough Youth Commission to find out if we can acquire this computer that's not being used. So I have to do that. The other option would be to outright buy as a department, perhaps through the donation account, to buy another computer that we would hang on to and could be used year after year for interns, which would be closer to between $600 and $800. So we're not at a decision-making point yet, because as I said, I need to reach out to Friends to find out how they feel, but I did want to put it on your radar. Doesn't really have any implications for the FY23 budget, because unless you want it to, I could amend the budget request to include that, but we do have donation account funds that could be used for that if the board felt as though we could use that. That was a really long-winded way of explaining what we needed, but hopefully that made sense.
So you feel like the laptop that's unused belongs to Friends? Is that what you're saying?
It does. Friends purchased that.
It's really a waste for it to just be sitting there and not being used. And so I would lean more towards buying the program that the laptop needs and putting it to use. That's my thought.
And we don't have to make a decision yet.
How old is that computer, Sarah?
It's not a spring chicken of a computer, but I'm not the right person to ask. Jay, actually, I sent a picture of the computer. I sent a picture of the side of the computer because I was looking for a power cord to charge it. And he looked at the picture and he knew it was an older computer just by looking at just like the corner of the laptop. So, but keeping in mind that the needs of our interns, they're not, they don't need high-speed internet. They don't need, it's just using therapy notes, email, and Microsoft Word, basically. So it's not, perhaps it's a computer that will get us through for a period of time, and then eventually we may need to purchase another one. But It is just sitting locked up in a drawer right now. And I'm not even sure that the current Friends board members, now Sue knows, but I'm not even sure that they know that it exists because, you know, those folks weren't involved at the time that we purchased it.
Will it take Windows 10 Pro? Is it?
Jay said it will.
Okay.
It just needs an upgraded license.
Well, you know, this is New England. We never throw anything out, right?
I might have something better lying around my house, honestly. I have a whole room of laptops. I'm like, I could probably, I mean, that's another thing. I'm sure somebody might donate something. We honestly have probably 15, 20 laptops in this house. And there might be something better that would, honestly, I'm thinking Jim just got a new Apple laptop, but he's still using his Microsoft Surface. But I think if we would consider donating that in the fall when you needed it. So that is an option. I do think that there are technology out there that people would be willing, that isn't, you know, meeting their business need, but would be worthwhile for, because a lot of that stuff just ends up in the swap shop. I mean, we could go hang out in the swap shop on weekends. But anyway, I think right now I'd probably table it until we figure out what it
has to anyway. But.
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of solutions. I do think my personal opinion is just upgrade it with the Windows Pro for now, and then I'm sure you're going to need other technology advances in the future, but I think we should put it on the back burner, and I don't think it's going to be a big thing and to figure it out.
Right. Yeah. So it's more of a heads up.
Okay.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you.
So with that, that's all of our business for the day. So we can have a motion for adjournment.
45 minutes, guys, 43 minutes.
I know, I'm so excited about this. Thank you for the expedited meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we'll have a roll call vote. Sue Butka.
Aye.
Beth Dombacher.
Aye.
David Joyner.
Aye.
Marguerite Landry.
Aye.
Sarah Micas.
Aye.
And Lauren Ritchie. Aye. All right.
To be honest, I don't want to say goodbye yet.
I know, I kind of don't either. I was very long-winded.
Christmas, right?
Yeah. Have a wonderful holiday, everybody.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays. Happy 2022. Can only get better, right?
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Oh my God, yes.
Stay well, my friend.
Marguerite, enjoy your grandchild.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Safe travels.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Aye.
Bye.